What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, of course, it's another Monday in the world of crypto, and every Monday we like to take a look at what the the whales, what they're doing in the world of crypto and how they're moving. You guys know, like, my general thesis is that the markets move based on what the whales do, and so obviously paying attention to what they're doing is a good idea. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start the first half of the video taking a look at what the the whales, what they're doing, and then we're going to funnel into the second half, taking a look at what I did with my own portfolio, some of the changes that I made. I haven't done many, so it's going to be rather quick, but make sure you do stay tuned for the second half of the video if you do want to see what I personally am buying, selling, etc. So with that in mind, let's jump straight into the news article from our friends over at CoinShares, taking a look at what's happened this week from the whales. Now, what we can see is that we did have a pretty nice spike up, almost $1 billion of inflows, especially in comparison to the sub $100 million last week and then the negative weeks before that. That's definitely a pretty big move, and hopefully we are on track for, some of the more of this type of accumulation, right? 2 billion, 2.5 billion. I mean, that would be amazing. And I think, honestly, that could get Bitcoin up to 80, 90K, but obviously we'll just have to see how that does play out. Now, that was broken down, that near $1 billion, specifically it was 932 million, was broken down across basically every major ETF, which was really cool. The only one that we saw negative was CoinShares. That was -6, pretty irrelevant, cancels out by basically any of these. So it is interesting to see that even Grayscale had a net positive weekly inflow. Looking at Fidelity coming in, smashing the week as the #1 accumulator, $344 million worth of crypto. I definitely think that it's worth paying attention to the fact that we are seeing this diversification, because of course many people were saying, well, once iShares runs out of money or once their clients stop buying Bitcoin, then obviously this whole train's going to end. And I don't necessarily think that's the case, because we have now consistently seen Fidelity and consistently seen ARC21 carrying the load and carrying the weight while iShares has been on cooldown mode. And so because of that, I think this diversification across multiple different ETFs is a good thing. It's a net positive in general, because it does diversify and kind of not centralize too much Bitcoin into one place. But it also goes to show that if one of these has a rough week, a lot of that sell pressure can be kind of mitigated and canceled out by the others that are doing better, especially Grayscale. It's interesting. And I think that there could be implications that Grayscale is coming to an end of its major sell-off, because although I don't think that it's going to continuously have weekly inflows, it doesn't make sense because it's a shitty percentage in comparison to the others. It definitely seems as if they are getting more inflows every now and then than there were outflows, which could be a sign that the momentum to the downside is slowing down for them. Which, if they do stop selling, I think that we could see Bitcoin hit 80, 90. I think that's possible. So obviously we'll just have to pay attention, but I think that's my general thesis. Now, looking at what was bought, what we can see is that Bitcoin smashing it, 942 million as you would expect. Ethereum coming in at another negative week, -23 million, which is interesting. And you can see it, you can see it. Ethereum's just been struggling since the beginning of March. It's just been on this consistent downtrend, and I don't really know why. So I think what I will try to do is I will try to find maybe some information about why the whales are just so adamant on selling off their Ethereum, but it definitely isn't a good sign. It's definitely not a good sign for the ETH community, and it's something that I don't like to see personally, because ETH is the king of the alts in my opinion, and so it's weird. I'll update you if I can figure out why that's going on. What we can see, though, obviously, as a Solana fanboy, and I did pull this up on accident. We're going to talk about Solana in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But Solana did come in at a $4.9 million inflow on the week, smashing the rest of the alts. The only close one was Chainlink at 3.7 million, which is interesting to see that the whales are, kind of choosing Chainlink, which is interesting. Maybe we'll do a Chainlink vid pretty soon here. But overall, Solana absolutely smashing the rest of the competition, picking up pretty well. Month to date on 11.1, looking very healthy, looking very good. I definitely love to see that from Solana, as per usual. So general takeaways is we did see a pretty strong inflow from the whales this week, primarily that going into Bitcoin, with Solana as a pretty far away second. But of course, that general accumulation being diversified across multiple different whales and multiple different entities and ETFs, which we do like to see, all of them going positive except for this one. But this one is rather irrelevant, of course, in the grand scheme of things. And so overall, very healthy week last week from the lizard people. So it is something that I like to see. Now, going into a little bit about what I personally am doing, don't mind my thumbnail creation there, to what I personally am doing. I actually haven't done much buying over the last week, but I did start picking up a little bit more this morning. What you can see here are some of the different trades that I made. Guys, by the way, this is HG Access. This is the server down in the description below. I'm sure many of you people remember it. This is the server that we created to basically take the alpha and the information and the secret info that we receive in the back end as creators. There's like 10 different creators that contribute all the alpha we hear about. We create alpha reports. We send it out to this server. On top of that, we also have one of the best gem callers in the world in the server, giving some of his gems, generating crazy gains. I mean, if we go to community gainers, you can see this here, dude. 76%, 25%, 9%, 36%, 136%, 143%, smashing the gains. The community is also, we're generating gains as well from the alpha reports, 14% there, 36% there, 25% there, going crazy. And on top of all of the gains from the calls and the alpha and the degen plays, there's also live streams, there's seminars, there's exclusive content, there's market recaps at the end of the day. You get pro technical analysis, you get a daily newsletter. I mean, this is by far the most value-packed crypto platform on earth. So do go check it out down in the description below if you want to check that out. But overall, what you can see here is, again, this is where I do post my trades. You can see what I'm buying, my financial friend for stocks and crypto, Connor Kinney. We're also onboarding 4 or 5 other influencers who'll be posting their trades here as well. So if you want to see what creators are doing, feel free to go check out the link down below. But I personally have only done 4 buys this morning. This morning I picked up a little bit of Alan the Alien, which I'll dive into in a second because that's a little bit different. It's a meme coin. Outside of that, I bought some Render at $10.08, primarily just because what I was looking at with Render was that it is still holding up on this back test pretty well. Do go check out my video from yesterday if you want my full thesis as to why I think this is a decent time to accumulate. I definitely am a little bit sketched out about what seems to possibly be a head and shoulders here, but I am kind of just saying YOLO and just seeing what happens. So I picked up a little bit of Render while we are sitting at the support just to kind of play it out, see what happens. Just bought a little bit more Matic at 68 cents. More of the reason being is that I just feel like I didn't buy enough Matic last week or the week before that, and it does seem as if Matic is still waiting to have its turn. It seems like it's holding up and creating a sideways consolidationary channel quite well, and so because of that, in my opinion, I think Matic can make a run. Maybe it goes for one more bounce and then or one more dip then a bounce, but I think the bounce is going to come at some point. So just going to buy a little bit of Matic, kind of see what happens there. And then of course just bought some ETH at 3,080, kind of going against what the whales are doing. I'm trying to kind of front run the whales here and pick up a little bit of ETH. What I did see was that ETH actually did start looking to break some of these short-term different structures, right? And it did actually seem as if it was going to try to put in some, some bottoming out structure in here. We obviously had this triple bottom almost, right? 1, 2, 3. And so because of that, it seems as if there's an opportunity for ETH to make a move to the upside. I didn't buy much, just a little bit, because at the end of the day, the whales are still selling and it's still in this descending channel. So it's still heading down until it breaks through this channel. But I just bought a little bit, just kind of for the shits and giggles. Now, as I mentioned before, I bought a little bit of Alan the Alien. The reason I bought that one was because its price has kind of pulled back a little bit off of that pump that we saw last week. You guys know I mentioned Alan the Alien for the first time last week on my channel, right around this little area. And what happened was that its price pumped over 40 to 50% afterwards, which was great. But then obviously it has gone through a bit of a slowdown as volume has declined a bit. Now, because of that, I think that Alan can find some type of support. Obviously, I'm not doing technical analysis. There's no way of knowing. But what we can see is historically, we found a floor here. We found a floor here. We found a bit of resistance here. And so this is a clear range of liquidity. And so because of that, I'm like, I feel like it could find some support here. I know the team has been so engaged, so active, still dropping tweets and news and stuff. And because of that, I think building up the support, it seems as if they could possibly go for another run here. And so because of that, I did actually accumulate a little bit of Alan the Alien while we did go into this little mini dip, adding a little bit more to my bag. I would like to make this one of my medium to bigger size Solana meme coin bags, especially while it's at $695,000 market cap. It definitely seems as if it could be one of those consistently $1 million plus market cap cryptos. And so that's why I wanted to pick it up, especially while we are still seeing the overall volume and liquidity pretty low. And so while we are looking at that, obviously, things do look good in the Solana meme coin space, but I am going to be posting a full Solana video coming up pretty soon here in about 3 to 4 hours after this video drops. So make sure you do go check that out if you do enjoy my content in general. But guys, let me know, what do you think? How do you feel about the lizard people and what they're doing in the market? Do you think that they're still playing us or that they're actually accumulating? What are your thoughts on what the whales are doing? Let me know down in the comments what you are doing as well. And of course, I will see you all very soon in the next video. Peace out, everybody.